Today we learn about the gland and its types. So, the first point is, what do you mean gland? The gland is nothing but specialized cell or organ that synthesize some chemical substances and secreted them. Means what? Suppose this is the cell, and if this cell synthesize some chemical substances, and if these chemical substances are then secreted by the cell, then we call it is as the gland. Then these secreted chemicals are then transported to the target region or target part. Target region is nothing but where the action of this secreted molecule is done. So to reach that target part, the secreted molecules are transported via either through the duct or through the bloodstream. So the definition of the gland is nothing but it is the gland or it is the specialized cell or tissue that synthesize some substances and then secreted either in duct or directly in the bloodstream to reach that target part. Next, there are two main types of the gland. First one is the exocrine gland and second one is the endocrine gland. We discussed about the first exocrine gland. Exocrine gland is nothing but here are the number of cells that synthesize some chemical substances, and that chemical substances is then released and then it is carried through this duct. Means what? If the secretions of the gland is carried via duct, then that gland is considered as the exocrine gland, and that secretions are nothing but we call it is as the enzymes. So in our body there are number of enzymes are there and which performs the different functions. For example, if we take the example that in our mouth salivary gland is present, and that salivary gland secretes the saliva, and saliva contains the number of enzymes that is important for the digestion of the complex food material, that is nothing but the for the digestion of the carbohydrate. Then in our skin the sweat gland is present, and in sweat the excess of the water molecule and salt is get excreted out the body. Like that, in our body the digestive gland is present, and in digestive gland there are two main important organs. First one is the liver and second one is the pancreas. In liver we know that the bile is get synthesized, and this bile it is important for the digestion of the fat molecules. So this bile is synthesized by the liver and it is carried through the bile duct, and its target organ or target part is nothing but the small intestine. So through the bile duct the bile is carried from the liver to the small intestine. Like that, again for the again from the pancreas there is a pancreatic juice gets secreted, and this pancreatic juice contain number of enzymes which are also needed for the digestion of the carbohydrate proteins. So through the pancreatic duct, here is the pancreatic duct, this pancreatic duct carries the pancreatic juice, and further digestion of the food material is takes place. So exocrine gland is nothing but the gland which secretes its secretions via duct, and that secretions normally we call it is as the enzymes. Next part, it is nothing but the endocrine gland. So endocrine gland means what? The endocrine glands means nothing but it is the specialized cells that also synthesize and secrete the chemical substances, but that chemical substances directly release to the nearby blood capillaries. Here the blood capillaries are there, so that synthesized and secreted molecules are directly poured into the bloodstream, and via blood it is goes to its target part. So the synthesis and secretion of these substances carried through the blood, then we call it is as the endocrine gland, and secretions of the endocrine gland we call it is as the hormones. So hormones are nothing but the secretions of the endocrine gland. In our body there are number of endocrine glands are there, and one of the most important endocrine gland in our body is nothing but the pituitary gland. This pituitary gland considered as the master gland, and it controls the other endocrine glands present in our body. So in that, the thyroid gland is there, adrenal gland is there. So this endocrine gland and exocrine glands are very important in our body, that maintains and regulate the different functions of our body. So basic difference of the exocrine gland and endocrine is gland is exocrine gland synthesis and secrete the chemical substances, and that chemical substances carried via duct, and that secretions we call as the enzymes. And here is the endocrine gland. Endocrine gland synthesis and secretes the substances directly into the blood, and we call it is as the hormones. So exocrine gland secretion we call as the enzyme, and endocrine gland secretion we call as the hormones. If you like this video, do share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.